State ground, this is Skyhawk 737 Lima Golf with information Bravo at the Alpha hangars, takeoff heading of 270, please.
737 Lima Golf, ground runway 9 right, taxi via Alpha, cross runway 5.
Cleared via to 9 right via Alpha, cross runway 5, 737 Lima Golf.
So you said you're going to spend a little bit of time down in Dayton over the holidays?
Yeah. And I kind of had, I actually, on Thanksgiving, I actually went and visited this airstrip. It's just a little grass field, but like, they do mostly like tail wheel. They have like 2 or 3 tail wheels. They have that arrow, they have a Pitts, they have a Stearman. So.
That Stearman would be fun.
Yeah, I mean.
Probably
cold right now.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I actually did a flight in Waco when I was like 10. My dad took me up with another guy, and it was like 65 degrees in the morning, and we were freezing.
I don't doubt it.
I flew with my one student today over at Bolton who has the Colt that we're working on his CFI, and it was the first flight where we did like an actual CFI lesson, and it was really fun just pretending to be a dumb student.
What does this do?
Or I mean just stuff like, okay, well, if the nose isn't moving up or down on the horizon, then that should be straight and level as long as you're not climbing. But then I go, okay, well, I put the nose somewhere, I go, this is where it should be, right? Or he goes, okay, well, pitch up a little bit on takeoff, so I just over pitch up.
That's one of the things like I feel like you learn is you may assume it's one thing and they're going to do something completely different because it's just like they don't know what.
They have no idea.
Yeah, they don't know how much is too much or enough.
In their eyes, putting more pressure on their right foot makes the airplane go faster.
Brakes. Yep, they're. Sorry. Never done that before. Interesting.
Yeah, and you know, I flew with another student who, another CFI showed them that, but I'd never seen it before that. And I'm not sure. I mean, I guess it makes sense because you're most susceptible to the carburetor at those low power settings, so.
Yeah. Do we want to do any type of special takeoff or practice anything special? Or just normal?
Let's do a soft field.
Soft field. I need to cheat and use your brain. Flaps or no flaps?
Yes.
10 degrees.
So the way I would think of the flaps is the flaps will get you off the ground as fast as possible, but it will not give you the best rate of climb.
Right. Yeah.
So if it's a soft field or a super short field without obstacles, you want the 10 degrees of flaps. if you have obstacles, then you don't want flaps.
Here we go, takeoff. 10 degrees, carb heat, cold. Taxiing, don't stop, brakes, don't hold, elevator, full back, throttle, full power, rotate lift off as soon as possible. Then ground effect at 59.
Now, I've only ever had one guy do a tail strike on the soft field takeoffs, and that's because as we were rolling down the runway, he forgot to close his window. So pulling full aft, he reaches over, closes his window, and as he reaches over, he just pulls a little bit farther back, and the tail just touches. The point with that is, after you're rolling down the runway, just fly the airplane, and if it's something like a window, and if you feel like you need to close it, abort the takeoff and close it.
Right. Oh man. Alright, let's taxi up the line. Don't need taxi, leave landing. Nav. Switch to the right. Communication.
Six Fox Delta Tower, turn right to Charlie, off to the ramp, monitor ground point 7, good day.
Charlie Alpha to the ramp, monitor ground point 7, 566 Foxtrot Delta.
State Tower, this is 737 Lima Golf at runway 9 right, ready for takeoff.
737 Lima Golf, State Tower 9 right, clear for takeoff, turn left and on course.
Clear for takeoff, 9 right, left, proceed on course, 737 Lima Golf.
70 Mike House, state number 1 now, 9 right, clear to land, traffic says the departing priority Rebel.
Alright, so...
Clear to land, 9 right, 10 Mike.
We are 9. Instruments. Green. There's the wheelie, we're kind of off the ground, there we go. There's 59. We're give it density altitude.
And just make sure once you get at 59, you climb out at 59.
Okay.
That's how you clear the obstacle, and then you can get rid of the flaps and climb at 80.
Left turn. Oh, no, not yet. Not 400. Now we got left.
And wind check with here, Mike.
Beautiful up here right now.
I'm sorry, call state, try it again.
Just looking for a wind check this here, Mike.
Wind 0304.
So I would just level off at like 2,000 feet. I'll just make sure you get the pylons done before it gets too dark.
Yeah.
How far away is Bolton from your work?
I mean, I work pretty much just north on 71, so it's probably a good 45 to hour with traffic.
Yeah.
You know, during like during like a weekday.
70 Mike, state tower, turn right at Delta, Alpha to the ramp, monitor ground point 7, good day.
Yeah, because I have access to that cold now, down there. And, I mean, if you ever want to go up for like the $100 hamburger in it, that's on me. The only thing with that airplane is
to the ramp.
not something I want to fly at night ever. So, probably have to be something over one of the weekends. It's a really fun airplane though.
Is it?
I mean, it's just so basic that you just feel like you're in so much more control of the airplane.
Or like you strap it on and you're like...
Yeah, kind of. I mean, the brakes is a pull bar.
Huh.
So, I mean, you'll give it 2 or 3 pumps before the airplane comes to stop on the runway, and you have the trim wheel up top, and you're spinning that. No flaps. You pull power idle, the thing drops at 1,500 feet per minute.
Just a big rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to like a tail wheel, to like just. I didn't care if I get the endorsement right now. It's just something fun to do, like just for the difference in like, just for experience, just for the experience.
Yeah, I'm jealous. Tail wheels, that's the one thing I've been kind of putting off for just too long now.
I feel like it's reasonable. It's the Cub and the Champ are 77 plus 36 for an instructor, so that's
really,
yeah. So it's like 110, 120 an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then do they let you rent the airplanes too, or is it?
They let you rent as well, but
you probably need.
But they want like renter's insurance. I don't know what their renter's insurance like policy is.
Well, I might go down and do that with them, and that's incredible at that price.
They're old school in the sense that they're just like a mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
And they have they just have one of those big like desk calendars, and they're just like, all right, what's your name? All right, we've got you on the schedule now.
Yeah.
And it's just a big grass strip, and like they've just got like a building with like a shop attached to it, then the hangars, and then I asked them, I was like, so is it pretty much like you book for 2 hours and you fly for like 1? They're like, well, we actually booked just for an hour and a half, and I was like, oh, it's because you just like walk right out to the frickin' plane. The plane was like right there the other day when I went there, so. Alright, so here's our friendly little thing that we tried last time, but the winds are out of the north. So, A, we need to descend some. Woo! Heyo!
You can feel that carb?
I mean, that was like a good chunk.
Oh, I know.
Going through, I was like, whoa, that's new.
So approximately kind of what heading do we want to...
Well, we want to like loop around, right? Because I guess it depends. Like if we want to like head north around something, like there's that solitary tree. I guess this isn't the place we were at the last time. But you see that like solitary tree in that field?
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to like loop around that one and then come back this way and loop around, I don't know, something over here, like maybe like that house.
Something like using maybe that tree and like just one of these, maybe that structure with that one solar light.
I guess, I don't know. Is that far enough apart?
You know, we would probably want to use that kind of set of white barns right over there with the one light also.
I feel like that's like... Okay, so we really kind of want to slow down to 100, huh?
Yeah.
Kinda low, but... Yeah, this is gonna be a friggin' practice.
Is the point in front or behind us?
It's behind us.
Alright, so what do we want to do?
I'm pulling up. I think that's the right thing to do. I can't really see. There she is. Are you really supposed to do anything with the power, or just kind of like...
No, you're supposed to leave the power how it is.
Okay.
Because your ground speed's constantly changing throughout the maneuver.
Yeah, that was kind of awful. Kind of close.
Yeah, we were kind of close, and I mean, we were just,
it's just
too fast and too low when we entered.
Alright, so we should be climbing. I'm actually kind of surprised I'm not seeing more like crazy Christmas lights.
Oh, I know. You would have wanted to just kind of stay on that point a little bit longer.
Okay. I mean, I feel it, I don't know. So now it should be this. And
Because you really want to go right into the next pylon.
right at, okay. I feel like I'm too close. And that wind's a little bit stronger than I expected.
Yeah, you just started turning towards it a little bit early.
Way too close. Yeah, I can't see the thing.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to be doing turns kind of this steep, we're going to have to pick different points.
I mean, I just got too close. I feel like now...
Alright, so let's pretend we're entering the maneuver right now.
Okay, I'm going to go up to 18 instead of
Perfect.
sticking around at low. Well, not really there. Okay. So... I feel like this is going better.
We're pretty far behind the point right now.
Okay, so I guess I'm using like the leading edge and like almost the stretch. Should I really be looking like almost like mid-wing? Like just a little bit past the nav light?
I'm basically using where you can see the nav light, right? The red nav light.
Okay.
That's my points.
Okay, so...
Ohio State Tower, good evening. Support cruiser 218 Juliet Delta, 10 Northwest, landing Bravo.
Okay, so...
And you know, I just...
Hey, Joe, Delta State Tower, base 9 right, call me at you out of boat.
Can you see the water tower right there?
Yeah.
Let's just use the water tower instead of that tree. That just seems like they're lined up a lot better.
Okay. Alright, so now... Going behind, well...
Now this is looking a lot better.
I just needed some practice.
Focus on the maneuver.
Until I start screwing around. Whatever.
You're gonna look at the audio or the video. You're gonna do so well that you see you tilt the camera, get right off.
Because I was like, oh, that was really worked really well. So I should just point the camera at it now. What a waste.
So stay a little bit longer on that point.
Okay.
I'll tell you when to switch. Alright, switch.
Tower, Mid-Flight 2 is off Riverside, -8 is like a southeast arrival to the north ramp.
1 Isle C Tower, north ramp, landing approved, East Cross, arrival landing now, over here. That'll be you on risk to the winds right now, 0204.
0204, Mid-Flight 2, landing approved, north ramp.
So I think these are pretty good points, and the wind's coming from the north.
Yeah.
The north-south winds, we should try and always come back and just find these.
I feel like that's something I want to like remember for the check ride is which have points picked out for like the actual thing.
Yeah. You know, I really like this water tower. So we'll just find another point. I'm 90 degrees off the water tower in the other direction next time. Other east-west winds.
All right.
State Tower 739, Echo Uniform, just north of the O'Shaughnessy Dam, inbound full stop with Bravo.
That call sign one more time.
739, Echo Uniform.
9 Echo Uniform, tail left base, 9 right, call me at the outer belt.
Left base 9 right, give you a call to outer belt, 9 Echo Uniform.
And how close are we allowed to be to the ground right now?
1,000 feet.
So then are we violating a reg?
Yes.
So it's 1,000 in densely populated areas, 500 in non-densely populated areas. A densely populated area can be, if you look at a sectional and if it's that yellow, then that's considered densely populated. If it's not, if it's farmlands like out here, then it's just 500.
Okay. I remember, well,
So
I feel like arguing with you in the sense that I remember reading like some FAA brief that pretty much said the FAA determines like some crash, like densely populated was like 2 people.
Oh really?
Stupid.
So
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that was like some
extreme.
yeah, something like. But again, it was one of those, like, the FAA really needs to define densely populated.
Oh, I know,
But
I
when
know.
they did.
It's so many people per square mile. I think the FAA purposely leaves a lot of their language to be very vague and kind of leave it up to interpretation on the incidents.
Yeah, just so they can, well. I know I've heard, like, tinted windows used to be a big thing, and if you like got your windows tinted, it was always like the cop would pull up, and then he had this book of like tinting, and it was pretty much just what he just pulled the page until he found like the tinting of your window that was just enough to like the match. You're like, yep, you're too much, and then they'd be like, but do you have a book that goes through all the different
Uniform
tintings?
tower change, runway 2, runway 9 left, clear land.
Hey, I had
Change the runway 9 left.
I knew one kid in high school who, to get away with getting a more extreme tint, he went to the doctor, got a doctor's note stating that he was light sensitive. And then he was able to get the higher tint, but I think the tinting looks kind of cool, but I would never do it just because I don't want a reason to get pulled over for not doing anything wrong.
Southbound 2,100 feet, Cessna going to 9 left. Roger. A65, state additional traffic is heading to your left about a mile from runway 9, right, say another Cessna.
You can go in and look at your flight profile and see how close each circle was to the last.
Now for 9 left.
Well, the first one's going to be shit.
A65 state, recommend a right turn back around out there to come back around the final.
All right, we'll do that.
That one kind of sucks right now.
Let's keep flying. It's not too bad.
State Tower 178 Charlie Tango, 7 miles west of the field, inbound for landing with Bravo.
1-8 Charlie Tango, I'll stay straight in, final 9 right, call me at 2 miles.
Straight in for 9 right, I'll call you at 2 miles, hey Charlie Tango.
Charlie Tank? I'm not sure.
A65, continue that right turn back around, runway 9 right, number 1 now, clear to land.
Clear to land 9 right for Gamma Jet 865.
Turn right at taxiway Charlie, Alpha to the ramp, monitor ground point 7, good day.
Turn right, Charlie, Alpha to the ramp, monitor ground point 7, 4 cruiser 8 Juliet Delta.
If we had a camera on us right now, it'd just be two guys staring out the window to the right, like, what the hell are they looking at?
Oh, I know. I wonder if anyone in town is trying to figure out why an airplane keeps circling overhead.
I gotta wonder, like, there's gotta be like enough people doing stupid shit out here that like they're right in the practice area. Like, there's gotta be some farmer that's just like.
Uniform tower right turn at the end.
Yeah, I mean, there must be one farm that people know that they just have a really good silo.
Bob, they must have got a new instructor at OSU because he's using your silo again.
Yep. Did I ever tell you about the story when my dad landed in a field in a 150?
No.
He was on a lesson and they were doing air work or some ground reference maneuvers or something, and my dad had to go to the bathroom really bad. So he goes, okay, now we're going to practice off-field landings. And he goes, okay, you just lost your engine. But my dad actually has a guy land on a farm road. My dad jumps out, goes to the bathroom, and he sees a truck driving down to them. And he's going, okay, well, I'm taking off before this truck gets to us. So he quickly got back in the airplane and they took off again.
They're probably worried if they like wondered if they were like okay or not.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I read somewhere that there was some guy, it was a farmer somewhere. He landed his plane. He just got a plane, and so he landed it on his like farm road or whatever. And the cop came up and pulled him over, and he's like, "You can't do that." And he's like, "There's nothing that says I can't." And the cop went back. He's like, "Shit, this guy's right." So he gave him a citation for an oversized load on the road that wasn't properly marked. It was a wide load that wasn't properly marked. And he's like, "All right, you got me."
All the pilot had to have said was, "I had abnormal oil pressure." My oil pressure was outside the green arc. I I wanted to do a cautionary landing.
Yeah.
The regs say land as soon as practical, so that's what I did. The cop was just pissed though that he pulled the guy over and couldn't give him a ticket.
Exactly.
Yeah, my dad used to land out in the deserts and go camping and land in people's backyards down in Oklahoma, given a backyard was a 15-acre ranch.
Right, yeah.
Make sure I take a state terror straight in 9 right.
You just had to make sure and do a low pass first to have all the cows move out of the way. I think it's getting a little bit dark too. Keep doing this mover.
Yeah, I can see the water tower, but it's getting hard to spot in the
Alright, so let's just climb out on 270 heading.
Alright.
And we'll go up to, we'll go up to 2,000 feet real quick and we'll do a Shondell, get some more altitude.
Oh, alrighty. Carb heat. Alright, there's gotta be panel lights.
Find that 36 Quebec House, take that, sir.
Oh, that guy's in off, that's great. Oh, well.
No, we have a little bit. It's just very faint.
Yeah, there's no backlighting on the instruments.
Oh, and then that's all there.
Verify this station was Oscar X-Ray Delta, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, 5936 Quebec, state on departure, squawk 4522.
Okay, well,
departure
we're at
frequency 125.95.
22. What's the airspeed for this? Is just like go into it at...
I like 90 knots.
36 Quebec House, state charger 9 right, track.
You know what, sorry, 100 knots.
Just verify at Bravo.
100 knots for both Shondells and Lazy 8s.
Alright. 30-degree bank, and then increasing pitch, and then...
Tango Tower, turn right at Charlie, Alpha to the ramp, monitor ground point, 7, good day.
Right on Charlie and Alpha to parking. Hey Charlie Tango, good night.
Alright, there's 100, so...
98 uniform, state taxi across 9 right, Charlie Alpha to the ramp.
Cross 9 right, Charlie Alpha to the ramp, 9 uniform.
This is going to be awful. That's 45, not 30.
Are you... I'm kind of having a hard time seeing the ball in the turn coordinator.
That one I didn't do as well as I should have. You want? Here's a flashlight.
Yeah, I just don't want to mess up your night vision.
No, that's fine. I would rather not spin into the ground because that's the concern, since we are low. Okay, let's go. Let's get up to 100 again and try this the other way. And get on a 090 heading. Okay. Left turn.
State Tower, Mooney 59.
There's 90.
Take off 9 right.
36 Quebec, state tower 9 right, clear for takeoff, turn right, proceed on course.
9 right, clear for takeoff, right on course, 369.
Not even close to 270.
I was just about to make the point. Make sure that you still have at least 15 degrees of bank left when you're at your 135 points.
Okay.
This is what you really should be reducing, what, 1 degree every 3 degrees of turn?
I don't know, I can't do math and fly at the same time. Okay, so 3,000. Let's try it to the right, just for shits and giggles. So there's 30 degrees.
Appreciate Quebec State. No traffic this time. Let's go and make it a left turn on course.
Make it a left turn for 36 Quebec.
Come on, fucker. No, we're even. All horns not even going off.
Yeah, because we were running about like 60-ish knots.
Nah, not even close. I should have practiced these. I knew it. Should have practiced on the simulator.
You can practice on the simulator if you want, but it's not going to be very realistic.
But still, I feel like it's just like the muscle memory.
Muscle memory, yeah.
Alright.
Alright, so let's get stabilized again. Let's just do one more.
Alright. There's 100. Go to the right again. There's south.
Contact departure.
Contact departure, good night.
Need a little bit more rudder.
Now. Come on, we're like almost there.
You know what? That was the best one yet, though. So that's a good one to end on. All right, let's go ahead and stabilize at 4,000 feet. As a new CFI, that's another thing you can keep in mind. For a long time, I would always just have, okay, we're at 3,800 feet, we can use this as altitude as a reference and then start the next maneuver. But I've been incorporating, okay, just going to 500s or 1000s after each maneuver and just getting restabilized. I found that's actually really beneficial for the student, just gives them a little bit more downtime in between maneuvers.
Gotcha, yeah.
And then it just works on helping them know how to get the airplane nice and stabilized and back in that clean configuration. All right, let's go ahead and do a couple steep turns.
Oh, alright. I need to like visually do these instead of always doing the other way. Alright. Alright, here we go.
Go on the bank. Do you feel nose high or nose low right now?
I don't know, I'm just, now I feel like I'm...
Oh, you know, we're not climbing as much as I thought we were.
I mean, now I can kind of check
Yeah.
and I see it, but like, horizon's at, because I feel like the nose is a lot lower on the horizon than it should have been for straight and level. So we gained like, what was that, 350 feet? That's terrible.
Here, let me try one. Okay.
Jet 306, stay clear to Madison. Radar vectors Rosewood, then direct Fort Wayne as filed. Climb maintain 3000. Expect flight level 34010 minutes after departure. Departure 125.905. Squawk in 3771.
I don't think I'm steep enough.
I don't think either of us.
Jet 306, state read back correct.
I mean, you gained maybe 100 feet, which is a hell of a lot better than my 300.
But not within standards. So I'm gonna kind of block it with my flight bag, so I can still see our bank.
That's fine. Alright, I'll go to the left.
Steeper, right there. Just a tiny bit nose low right now. All right.
That could have been worse.
No, I was happy with that one. I mean, we lost 80 feet.
Yeah, no, that was pretty.
So we're at your private pilot standards right now.
Yeah. Not commercial, but I don't know.
So let's just do one more opposite direction.
Alright.
Try and keep the head outside.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go down to 27 and not down to 20, 227 heading and then 5 down to 4500. Okay, let's level off.
American State Tower, that's flight 2 on the North Ramp information Bravo, like
Level off,
305.
But 2 state North Ramp departure previous request, use caution party now moment here. Proceed on course, winds right now 350 at 3.
350 at 3, that's flight 2, proceed on course.
Okay. I think I got a little bit of pitch up, which is going to help me, so alright, here we go to our right. Oh, that's got to be nose low. Oh, shit.
But look at your angle of bank, by the way.
Information Charlie is now on ATIS, the altimeter is 3021.
Not terrible.
I was 60 degree bank.
I was doing 660.
Because I felt the G's and I look over and I'm like, because I've never really felt it that much in my cheeks.
Because I saw, all of a sudden I saw like, this corner of the dash was all below the horizon. I was like, that's not good.
Yeah.
All right.
But I mean, you didn't lose that much altitude on that one.
That's good. I didn't even realize, honestly, it was 60 degrees. Like, I noticed we were down, but like, I don't know, once we got over that way and it got dark, I couldn't really, there was no horizon to really look for. It was just like, where the lights end?
Because the visibility gets a little worse over there too.
Oh, man.
Alright, so let's turn heading 090 and maintain 45. Actually, you can roll out on the right now, 06. Okay. Let's go ahead and configure for slow flight 30.
Allegiant 909.
Now they're all the way in. Oh, no. Watch it.
So kind of just talk me through what your radio calls would be if you lost your engine right now.
Hey Tower, this is 737 Lima Golf, about 10 miles to the west, going down, about 3,000, 2 people aboard, try and get her to start. I don't know. So we got full power, so I don't need that guy. Hovering at 4,500, other than that I have no idea.
I would always start off by saying Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Mayday 3 times. 737 Lima Golf, engine failure, location, 2 people on board, and what your intentions are.
That's the lamest stall horn ever. I can barely hear it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, pretty faint. So, what altitude did we start this maneuver at?
Oh, you know, 4,500.
Alright, so let's just maintain, let's go ahead and descend back down to 4,800 and we'll maintain 48. I don't want you to accelerate though, I want you to maintain 50 knots.
Come on, plane. Alright, there's 48. I don't know how. I'm still doing 500 and I'm like...
Oh, I know, just pull the power back a little bit.
One 130 direct to low line, number 5336. 12552, number 5336.
See what our ground speed is?
No. I did not. I wasn't even paying attention. I mean, I know we were right at 40, so there must be very little wind up here.
Yeah.
Well, this airspeed still. Cruising along at 5,000 feet.
Yeah, so I usually do slow flight just a little bit faster, closer to 50 knots. Because at 40 knots, I usually have the horn buzzing. Once this aircraft passes us, I'm just going to have you go power idle, and we'll take it into a power off stall. You know, actually, go ahead and turn 030. Yeah, so just try and give yourself like 10 degrees lead for the rollout.
Yeah, I don't know why that was so terrible.
That's fine.
There's somebody else too, just popped up.
All right, go ahead and give me a turn to right turn 090.
State Tower, Met Flight 5, just passing the shoe with Charlie for the north ramp.
Flight 5, tower north ramp, landing approved, just crossed runway landing number.
Do you feel a tiny bit of a buffet in the turn?
3504.
Not really.
Cleared land off ramp, Met Flight 5.
I couldn't tell if it was just a vibration or a little bit of
There was like, I think there was something like that. I felt it too, like hesitation or something. I don't know.
All right, so do you remember the recovery from a power off stall?
Full power, nose of the horizon, I think, is what they want us to do now instead of lower the nose, or is it lower the nose?
It's lower the nose.
Lower the nose.
Nose below the horizon, yeah. And then start bringing the flaps back up.
That was out. That was a bad mistake.
All right, so we're at 4,900 feet now. Whenever you're ready, you can just go power idle.
Not like.
Let's recover.
All right, so we're at 60. Take some of the drag out.
Why didn't you recover when you heard the horn?
I don't know. I was waiting for like the full stall.
But you're a commercial pilot now, or working as a commercial pilot. So the muscle memory where you're waiting until the full stall, we're trying to break that muscle memory now.
Okay.
Okay? I want to create a muscle memory where the second you hear the horn, without even thinking, you push the nose down.
Okay.
Okay?
That's. And then is there like, so I feel like I need like a formula for when to take the flaps out, in the sense that like it gives me something specific. Wait until you're picked up some airspeed, I don't know, and then take the first notch out, or take the first notch out, you know, once you've gotten full power. And then, because, so there, here we've got what, 40 degrees, like, and I arbitrarily took the last 40 out, or the last 10 out when we were at 80.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, or
I mean, kind of the way I would recommend is, okay, initially take the first notch out once you have some sort of positive rate.
positive rate of airspeed, or like, or climb.
So airplanes either start to climb again at airspeed. Well, once you start having a positive indication of airspeed indicator, once the airspeed starting to build up again, you bring the first notch up.
Okay.
And then basically, I would probably wait every 5 to 10 knots. After that, then the next notch.
Take that. Okay.
So I mean, I don't have specific airspeed set. Okay, at 60 knots, I need to have that first 10 knots up.
Right. I just wasn't sure if there's like a good. I don't want to go to the check ride and be like, oh, I just did it whatever. And Paul's like, well, why did you do it? Why did you do it that way? And I'm like, because I felt like it. You know, I didn't have like a better answer.
Uniform is final push 6 inbound, runway 9 right.
Alright, so
side step to the north end, full stop.
we're gonna do power off stall now.
Option after completion option.
Sorry, power on stall and a 30-degree bank. So what I'm gonna have you do is go ahead and turn. Actually, bring the power back to 15 inches.
Step over the north ramp, copy all.
RPMs.
RPMs,
We don't have inches anymore. There's 15.
Okay, once we get to 80 knots, I want you to turn 30-degree bank and go full power and pitch nose up. And just keep adding more and more pitch up until the airplane
So
stalls.
there's 80. 30 degrees. Full power. Stalls or the horn goes off?
Horn.
Okay, so there's...
Every time we do a stall from now on, it's always that first indication.
Okay.
Okay, here, let me do one.
You have the plane.
Okay. 80 knots. Carbine in. Full power. Bank. I'm pitching up. Adding rudder, stay coordinated. Pitching up, pitching up. Horn. Nose to the horizon, below the horizon. Wings level.
Okay. Wings level first, then the nose.
And then you can just start slowly bringing it back
Nose
up.
and then the wings. Okay. I had the plane.
You have the airplane.
Okay, so...
MJ65, I'll stay clear to Ackercan, radar vectors, the Lays intersection, that's Lima, Alpha, Yankee, Echo, Sierra, then direct to Hoover, and the Hoover 1 arrival. So I maintain 3,000, expect 9,000, 10 minutes after departure.
There's 80.
Departure 125.95, squawk at 4020.
Full power, carpet in, pitch up. Nose down, wings level.
MJ65, Terry back correct.
That was good.
Alright, that's not too bad. Okay.
Oh, we just lost our engine.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Let's make a 180 and start heading towards OSU.
I want
Best glide.
65.
I don't want to start descending until we're at 65. But I don't want to climb either.
65.
Time information, Charlie, 225 Zulu, winds 3403, visibility 10 miles, sky clear, temperature -1, dew point -8, the altimeter is 3021. RNAV ILS or visual approaching, use landing departing runway 9 right. Notice airman, taxiway Golf closed. Last on this contact information, Charlie. Time information, Charlie, 225 Zulu, winds.
State Tower, 737 Lima Golf.
37 Lima Golf, on state.
737 Lima Golf, currently 9 miles to the west, inbound for landing with Charlie.
7 Lima Golf, state tower, port straight in, final 9 right, call me at the outer belt.
Call it that or about 737 Lima Golf.
I realize his job is probably a little boring, or can get boring at times.
Yeah.
But Jesus, sometimes you feel like you just woke Grandpa up from
Tower,
Oh, I know.
his nap.
130, Bravo uniform.
So I would point right towards the numbers right now.
Bravo uniform over here.
So about 30 degrees to the left. About there should be good. think we'll make it?
I have no idea. What is this, like 6 to 1? We're at what, 5,000? 4,000 feet.
3,000 over the ground.
8 miles. 3,000. 7 to 1. 1,000. No.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
At 7 to 1, that's 2,100 feet, which is a little less than 2 nautical miles.
State Tower, 333 Hotel Foxtrot is bound for
21.
Right.
5 by 5. 4 miles.
Hotel Foxtrot, State Tower, your left base, showing on the right.
So yeah, we should be able to make it to the outer belt then.
I feel like we would be able to make it
Call
to
left base for 333 Hotel Foxtrot.
just before the outer belt. Like I feel like there's like a mall or something over here, like straight ahead, just off the. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Okay, so we'll just take this down to 2,500 feet and see how close we can get. So we're at 34 and 7 miles, or 6.9. Let's see what else we're at 5.9.
Oh.
Are you full aft?
Yeah, full aft.
Yeah, that's a little trick with the trim on GA airplanes. If you go full aft on the trim, that should give you best glide.
Did not know that. I've actually never hit full aft because I feel like I'm a little fast. I guess not.
You're kind of right on the money.
So I've been reading like, I bought an old book. It's from like the 70s or 80s, and it's all of, I learned about flying from
You were
that.
telling me about it. How is it?
It's good.
Is it worth purchasing?
Yeah, it's like, I got it online for use, and it was like $3.
Okay, so then definitely worth it.
And they have like stories.
Hotel Foxtrot, if you could, just go ahead and keep your present heading for now.
Stories from like the 20s.
We'll
I see him right to our left.
37 Lima Golf, State Tower, just go ahead and slide over to 9 or left, clear to land.
Clear land, 9 left, 737 Lima Golf.
Alright. 23 Hotel Foxtrot, you got traffic moving up here 11 o'clock now, and about, we'll make it 5 miles straight in, final 9 right. Or make it 9 left now, 2,600 feet, so that's to 172.
And we have the traffic, 333 Hotel Foxtrot.
Hotel Foxtrot, just go and fly behind them. They're going to the parallel runway 9 right, you're clear to land.
Fly behind them, and we're cleared for 9 right for 333 Hotel Foxtrot.
But there was one where this guy, like, I'm reading.
Lima Golf, State traffic's off your left side, it's going to fly behind you to join the final 9 right.
Lima Golf has the traffic in sight. This guy had a Bonanza, and he flew into crappy weather, and his wife's like, I see the ground below, so they're out in the west, where it's like scrubland, but like desert. And she's like, I see the, oh shit, we're a little low.
Yeah, we should get our engine back. And make sure you get rid of some of that trim.
Yeah. She goes, I can see so they're in like a huge snowstorm, and they're like, I see the ground below us. Let's land. And so he's like, all right. So he puts the wheels down, flaps, goes and lands in like sagebrush country. And it's snowing pretty good. And he goes ahead and lands, and then he's like, well shit, it's cold out. I have an extra jacket. So he like walks around, there's still sagebrush and crap, and so he goes around, and he's like, we can't stay here, we need to get the hell out of here. And he's like, oh, the weather I think clearing up a little bit over there. So he walks back to the plane, and he walks back to the plane. He's like, all right, sticker, crank her up.
306 on State Tower, runway 9 right, check.
Get her going. She's going. So much drag, hitting sagebrushes, just knock him out of the way with the prop. Snow flying everywhere. He didn't it doesn't sound like he cleared like the snow out of the way. Like it sounded like there was like a good like foot or something on the ground. I have no idea. So he goes and he sees that there's like this dried out like riverbed, and he's like, we're not gonna make it. So he like yanks up. They hit one of their wheels on the riverbank, and it puts them up in the air, lowers the nose, and they're just like, they're airborne. And so he goes and he tries to retract the gear,
It's not going to come up.
Doesn't come up. Failed.
He's an idiot for trying to retract it, too. I mean...
It failed. So he goes, finds some airport somewhere. He goes and lands, and the line guy goes, "Son, where the hell have you been?" Because he goes and tries to land. There's all kinds of problems. Like, the prop's all nicked up. It's, like, vibrating a shit ton. And, the gear was full of snow. There was a shit ton of snow, and sagebrush just wrapped around it so it wouldn't go up. It probably would have froze in there if it had retracted. Yeah. There was just all kinds of stupid stuff this guy did. Like,
it's like, that sounds like the worst chain of events I've ever heard.
Right, it was just like, what the hell are you doing, dude?
He was probably a doctor, too.
Probably. Alright. Yes, undercarriage, fixture full rich, fuel pump on, seat belts, switches.
I'll also turn on my taxi light. So you have a little bit more light out there.
Jet 306, be ready, reaching.
Probably can't go.
Jet 306, take tower, hold short 9 right, landing traffic.
Jet 306, hold short 9 right.
Yeah, like I was just read the story and I was like, hey, you're an idiot for trying to take off. Like, once you're on the ground and shit is that bad, like, just stay on the ground. Like, I realized it was cold and you only had a jacket for yourself and not for your wife, but I don't know, dump some of the fuel out of the fuel tanks and just go ahead and light it on fire and set a fire on the ground and just
light the airplane on fire. Who cares?
It was just like, you went back into a shitty situation. You're an idiot.
Right on glide slope.
Golf State Tower, turn right at DN Charlie, hold short 9 right.
Take a right at the end and then we'll hold short. Or right on Charlie and then hold before the runway.
Do you notice how high you were?
Yes. That's why I like started to cut it. I was like, where the hell?
Tower 2 Delta, Foxtrot's going to the FPO.
Delta Foxtrot, be right turn for you at Delta if you're slow enough, and then be Alpha to the ramp, monitor ground point. Good day now.
Yeah, make sure you don't go on another runway.
Delta and Alpha, we'll over to the ramp, we'll go over to ground for 2 Delta Foxtrot.
Alright, we don't need to land. Put the flaps up.
7 Lima Golf State, hold short, runway 9 right on Charlie.
Hold right at 9 right on Charlie, Lima Golf. Traffic coming in. But there, I don't know, that was one of them. Another one was like this military trainer guy who, for whatever reason, his instructor was...
Jet 306, I'll stay tower, runway 9 right now, clear for takeoff, turn left heading 050.
Teaching him a little bit of aerobatics just to prevent him from doing something stupid later on in life. I think the guy had a total of 60 hours. He goes and takes like their basic trainer. I think he was still in the basic trainer. I forget what he does. He ends up in an inverted spin. And just from the grace of God and his instructor's instruction, I think he at first started to like try and correct, and that wasn't correcting because he figured he was in a flat spin. So he just let go. And it got it corrected enough because there was so much flutter in the rudder or the stabilizer that he eventually then like kicked it over, and then he came out of it. And it was funny because he's like, I never thought to bail out. I had a parachute on, but I never thought to bail out because it just wasn't like in my head that I should bail. As I'm getting closer, I should bail out.
That's even an option.
Right? Yeah. So that was kind of interesting. Like, you know, always mentally prepare for like other, I don't know, for the other outs that you have that you just don't practice a whole bunch of. Like, shit, I have a parachute. Let me get the hell out of this thing.
I was reading actually a flying magazine article like 2 nights ago about back in like the 60s or 70s, one of the trainer airplanes.
Pacific Gulf State, cross 9 right now, Charlie off to the ramp.
Cross 9 right, and then Alpha and Charlie to the ramp, or Charlie and Alpha to the ramp.
Yeah, so what had happened was he was flying over the Sierras. He was relocating an airplane from the West Coast over some base on the East Coast, and he lost his engine, bails, and when he was going down the parachute, when he hit the ground, he twisted both his ankles or broke both his ankles really, really bad. Took him a month to climb out of the woods and found a ranger station. And his story was kind of a little bit unbelievable at the time. So there was a lot of speculation that he had flown down to Mexico, sold the airplane to the Russians. The Russians flew him back, dropped him off, and then he hiked his way out and came up with this elaborate story.
Right.
And then it was just, within the last couple of years, there were Boy Scouts out hiking, and they found a piece of the airplane.
Really?
So that put the whole conspiracy to rest.
Huh. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's...
But I would have been so mad if I had bailed out over the mountains, and then people call me a liar, and saying I'm a traitor to the country.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know, they have all those things, we're on the second one.
Yep.
It's easy to lose a plane out there. It's not like, oh yeah, they're just oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of plane wrecks they found years and years later.
Yeah, who was it? Steve Fawcett?
Yeah.
And they spent millions and millions of dollars to try and find him, and they only found him 4 years afterwards or something.
Yeah, and so the guys I go down to Argentina with, and they go down for gliding, the guy that runs the whole operation, used to be Steve Fawcett's right-hand guy.
Oh,
and he ran all the gliding operations for Steve Fawcett when Steve would come down to Argentina.
Huh.
And was best friends with Steve, and he told me the stories because he was actually up at Tahoe when Steve went out for the quick flight, 45-minute flight that never returned.
Really?